This is the Oz report for August 16th, 2025. And we are going to start, as always, with Plex and Plex adjacent items. And for that, quickly, Plex, since the introduction of the global Plex market, Plex prices have been sliding slightly, but they're not sliding, massively or anything. We're looking at a Plex price of about 5.7, 5.8 million. That is, completely in the normal range where we would expect them. There hasn't been a large New Eden store sale lately. Nothing that is going to move big amounts of Plex. As soon as that happens, certainly the price is going to rise. So somebody's asking in chat, is it a Plex buy moment? I think so. I think Plex could definitely bounce back if there is a massive sale in the New Eden store. We've seen that in the past, and it's not like the supply situation for Plex is massively different now than it was before. So I do think that Plex is cheap right now. I don't think it's going to, crash to 5 million in the next month or two. I think there's no reason it should. But I do think there is a possibility that there will be a larger New Eden store sale at some point, and that might drive up the price of Plex significantly if it's one of those can't miss sales, right? If we're looking at cerebral accelerators, we discussed this a little bit longer earlier in the stream, but certainly one thing to note is that the low Plex price has made those boost cerebral accelerators in the New Eden store the most efficient way to gain ISK if you're over 5 million SP. Usually it was always cerebral accelerator, the Master at Arms cerebral accelerators, but now even though those are still rather cheap, the low Plex price has made it very cheap to buy those boost cerebral accelerators. So just be informed that that is the cheapest way if you are used to buying the Master at Arms cerebral accelerators to continuously increase your SP generation. Keep in mind right now there is a sale going on for MCTs in the Eve store, and that is adding free Omega to 3, 6, or 12 MCT packages. We analyzed that earlier in the stream as well. So just so you've heard it, it's a very, very good value. It's not a must buy, but it's definitely a good buy. So if you're in the market for some MCTs and you're looking to spend real cash, it is a very, 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 very good deal. And if you do spend cash in the Eve store, make sure you use the creator code Oz if you want to support our content right here. Returning to the Oz report, hypercores are slightly up, but just 2%, nothing to write home about. The thing that is much, much bigger this week is Salvage. So there are some very clear indicators that exploration is massively popular right now and is driving a lot of the market content. So if we're looking at the Oz report dashboard, well, first of all, overall salvage materials, especially T2 salvage materials, currently trading at an Oz price index of 67. That means that is 33% below 52-week average. So tier 2 salvage right now, very, very cheap. Even tier 1 salvage trading 18% below 52-week average. This week alone, tier 2 salvage dropped 7% on average and is being traded at very, very high volumes. What does that mean in detail? In detail, if we look at what's trending down this week, single crystal super alloy I-beam, minus 25%. Impetus console, down 19%. Thruster consoles, down 17%. And these are all salvage items that are trading at more than 5 billion ISK a day, right? So these are very, very large trade items that are just dropping 10, 15, 20%. And the reason for that, as mentioned, is because exploration got a massive boost. There are more sites out there. There's more lucrative there was more lucrative loot added, items that were a bottleneck before. Specifically, these items right here, the molecular forging tools and the advanced protective technology. These are capital components that were a bottleneck before, and now they are being added to exploration sites. In some instances, ghost sites, which overall have been made a lot easier to complete. So they're not as daunting as they were before, and that means that this loot is more. It's out there. More of it is actually leaving ghost sites, and more of it is hitting the market. And these are item categories that were trading 50, 60, 70% above 52-week average just a few months ago, and now they're trading at or below 52-week average. So another indication that that exploration is just massively popular right now. Other indications are, if you look at most underpriced, I mean, the metamolecular combiner, an input for a lot of dreads, for example, is trading at a price index of 28. That means that it's trading more than 70% below 52-week average. So there's a lot of these coming out of these sites, these ghost sites, and hitting the market much more than it was before. So much so that it's basically removed as a bottleneck. If we go up here and we look at what's in short supply, for example, Sisters of Eve net resonators, there's only half a trade day left. These are very popular because you need these. You buy them in the LP store, and then people sell them. People convert LP into these items and then sell them on the market for others to buy and use them to make Asteros and Stratioses and Nestors and all these great Sisters of Eve ships. These are especially good at explorations, especially the Astero is one of the most popular exploration ships, and even the Stratios is very, very popular in ghost sites and also hunting explorers. So overall, it's not a surprise that these Sisters of Eve ships can definitely be popular and be very very short supply in the market. The same, by the way, about Guristos net resonators. These are used to buy Gilas and rattlesnakes, and so those are also in very low supply. Another item in low supply are the Sisters Core probe launchers. These are the most popular probe launchers used in most exploration content, and these are also bought with Sisters of Eve LP. So right now you can see exploration content means Sisters of Eve LP, very valuable, in high demand. And if you want to profit from this, you can either farm Sisters of Eve LP, or you can join in the exploration fund yourself. However, we were discussing this on the stream earlier as well. Naturally, for the average explorer, profitability has likely gone down. This means that a lot more people are running a lot more sites, and yes, some people that are running the sites that are now dropping the capital components, some people are going to get lucky. There are definitely more jackpots out there, but on average, the average employer is probably making less just because the salvage has dropped in price so much, and some of these other loot components that were rarer before are dropping in price now because the market is oversupplied. So overall, this is a clear indicator that exploration is just it was buffed. It was very popular. It's driving down prices in a lot of sectors of EVE Online, and we'll have to keep a close eye on this and seeing the fallout from this. Clearly, it could be that as prices fall, people just stop doing it because it's not as new anymore. People are getting tired of it, etc., etc. So very possible that this follows the typical EVE path of this being a hyped this month, but next month falling off and prices stabilizing again. But something to definitely keep an eye on. I think that's about it for the Oz report. One other thing I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, we do have We do have structure prices down 6%. This is structure prices come from a high place because we did see a lot of alliances move in the last month or two. Prices are now coming back down as more structures are being produced again, and you can see here, 10 available trade days in the market shows a clear oversupply, and so, I don't think people are necessarily waiting for structures to buy structures because prices are coming down. But if you're producing them, this is definitely something that you should think about, especially because rig prices are going to be crashing, absolutely crashing, just because salvage prices are coming down, right? They haven't yet. If you're looking at tier 2 rigs here, well, I shouldn't say they haven't. They have. So tier 2 rigs are trading at an OPI of 67. That means they're even tier 2 rigs already 33% below 52-week average. So clearly the salvage prices have already driven this down significantly. All right, I think we're going to leave it at that for the Oz Report this week. We're going to return to the regular stream, and I'll see you guys on the Oz Report next week. All right.